So good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. We're still waiting for the Premier League to start, which is only 5 days away. I can't wait for that. I will be doing a watch along for every Arsenal game as per usual, and I've missed it. I've missed Chig as well, my partner in Arsenal stream. So yeah, I can't wait to get back on it again. We start off with probably, well, other than Liverpool, the hardest game we could possibly have, couldn't we? But listen, do download HOTMIC. I had an absolute mare with that yesterday. I'm going to get on that today, sort that out, and I will be streaming the watch-alongs on to HOTMIC. You get real fan stadium noise on that as well, which is kind of cool, and you can sync it up to my stream as well, so we're both in real time. So make sure you use my code. That gets me paid. So yeah, go do that right now. Listen, we're going to talk about this report that SoccerX have put out there, saying that Arsenal got £235 million to spend. £235 million to spend, apparently. Now, anybody who's followed this channel since I started it, and even the previous channel that I had, will know that I've been saying we have got massive, massive cash reserves, well over 200 million quid. And we can potentially use some of that to go and buy players. At the same time, we do have to keep a certain level. I don't know what that certain level is, but I know that when we got the funding for the new stadium back in 2002 through Barclays, we had to, there was 2 clauses on that contract. One, Arsene Wenger had to stay for a certain period of time. And the second one was that we kept a cash reserve at a certain level, just in case for whatever reason we financially killed ourselves off, couldn't pay the money back, and then we haven't got that financial reserve to kick in and keep the payments going. They were 2 of the clauses in that contract with Barclays. Now, what this report has said is that we can take all of that £235 million and go, yep, we're going to go and buy everyone we want. What a load of rubbish. Absolute rubbish. What they should have said is that we can take that £235 million out of the bank, go and spend it on players, and Stan Kroenke can legally put it back in with an outside investment, which basically defeats the object of taking it out the bank in the first place. It just means that Kroenke can go and put 235 million quid in if he wants to. It's been very misleading. It's one of the most misleading articles I've ever read, because now you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of Arsenal fans across the globe going, boy, we've got 235 million quid to spend, when technically we could actually have 500 million pounds to spend, because Kroenke's apparently going to put a cash investment in. How much that is, we don't know. Not only that, FFP rules have been relaxed. So technically he can go and do whatever he wants this summer. Same with Man City, same with everybody else. Every other club in the Premier League and across the globe can go and splash as much money as they want this summer, and it will not go against you on the FFP rules. Now, anybody who don't know the ins and outs of FFP, your wage bill is only allowed to increase by £7 million a year, right? That's a fact. So if our wage bill currently right now is £232 million, which is there or thereabouts, we're allowed to put that up to £239 million at the end of this summer transfer window. 7 million quid isn't a lot of money for wages as an increase, which is why when you've got a player like Mkhitaryan on 200 grand a week, that equates to £10 million a year. Take him out the club, add the 7 million on top of that 10 million, you can now increase your wage bill by 17 million, which pays for nearly all of Mesut Ozil's wages for the year. But it also pays for 2 footballers on around 160, 170 grand a week, which you can then do just by removing one player on 200 grand a week, adding the 7 million increase. Arsenal are not going to take that £235 million out of the bank. Firstly, it would break the contract with Barclays Bank, meaning that we'd be shafted. We can't use that money to go and pay the stadium debt, which is not cleared until 2031. Works out about 20 million quid a year we pay towards the stadium payments. If we did do that, we'd probably be hit with another 200 million pound in fees and fines for paying the stadium debt off early. Again, another clause in the contract that with Barclays that says if you pay the debt off early, we're going to penalise you X, Y, and Z. Now, when you look at what the way they've worded it is, we've got 235 million to spend. Well, no, we ain't. We've got 235 million in the bank, That doesn't mean we're going to go and spend it. It doesn't mean we can legally take it out the bank because it'll break the contract with Barclays. But what it should have said, and if they'd worded it just slightly differently, what it should have said is Arsenal could spend up to 235 million, which is what we have in cash reserves, by an outside investment from the owner, Stan Kroenke. If they had worded it like that, everyone would have gone, oh, okay, yeah, cool. But he ain't going to do that, so it wouldn't have gained all the traction it's gained. The way they've worded it is Arsenal got 235 million quid in the bank, and they're going to go and do it all on transfers if they want to. That's not the case. That genuinely isn't the case. Arsenal can go and do 235 million quid this summer, no problem at all. But the owner has to give us the money to do it, which, let's be real here, he couldn't care less about the football club. He ain't going to put 200 million pound into it this summer. When you look down the road at Chelsea, everyone, I've said for weeks on this channel, Chelsea will challenge for a title next season. And people were sitting there laughing and laughing and laughing at me, going, you're warped, mate. You're deluded. Yeah. Well, I think people are starting to realise Chelsea are actually serious and they are going to try and challenge for a title now. They're trying to buy Chilwell between 50 and 80 million quid, whatever it may be. They're bidding for Werner, 54 million quid. They're going in for Kai Havertz. That's going to be expensive. They've already signed Pulisic whilst being banned. They signed Kovacic whilst being banned. They're going to spend a lot of money this summer, Chelsea. And the difference between Chelsea spending 200 million and us spending 200 million, we have to do it by getting our owner to give us the 200 million quid. Chelsea have done it by smart business over the last 5 years of selling off player after player after player from their reserve setup that never gets a game unless he goes on loan to Vitesse Arnhem, and then selling them all off for 5, 6, 7, 8 million quid a pop. Then they've sold Morata for less than they're going to buy, or thereabouts what they're going to buy Timo Werner for. Again, another absolute masterstroke from them. Then they've got rid of Hazard for 80 to 90 million quid or whatever it is. Yes, they've brought Pulisic, they've brought Kepa, they've brought Kovacic. There's 170 million quid. If you add up how much money Chelsea have sold, how much they've got in the last 5 years, 475 million pound they have got back in transfer fees after spending out gross 600 million quid in 5 years. Their net spend is 125 million quid in 5 years. That is less than half of what our net spend is in the same timescale. So Chelsea don't need their owner to go, oh, here you go, mate, here's all the money, because they've got the money, because they've been very smart in what they've done. Arsenal have not been smart. The only way we've been smart is by having massive cash reserves, which keeps Barclays sweet, which means they go, oh, cool, yeah, well, if ever you wanted another loan to go and buy a player, i.e. Thomas Partey, Arsenal could go to Barclays Bank and say, right, what we want to do, rather than taking the money out of the cash reserves or the owner putting it in or whatever they want to do, what we want to do is get the £43.5 million as a loan from you. Then we'll pay you back X, Y, and Z every month, which a lot of football clubs do. Man United do it. Chelsea have done it. All the big teams. The interest rate is a lot better to go and get a bank loan because the interest rate's peanuts on massive amount of money like that, rather than taking it out of your own money, leaving your cash reserves less. Go and get a bank loan from Barclays and pay it over the length of time. Most contracts, most payments are structured over a few years. So if Arsenal were to pay for Thomas Partey's got a buyout clause. So with Thomas Partey and a buyout clause, you have to pay the whole lot up front. That's why it's a buyout clause. You hit the buyout clause, bang, you pay the money. You transfer the player the money, the player buys himself out the contract. That's how a buyout clause works. With Arsenal and other clubs, like say, for example, Man United with Pogba, for example, they paid 89 million quid. There was a few ways they could have possibly done that. They could have paid the 89 million up front, which they apparently didn't. They could go to the bank and get an 89 million pound loan, then pay it up front and pay the bank back. Or they could structure it over 3 or 4 years or whatever it may be. Sometimes it works out better to go and get a loan from the bank to pay for the player. And a lot of football clubs do that. Yeah, Arsenal do it. All the big clubs do it. I'm sure some of the smaller clubs do it as well because it works out better. Now, this story, just to finish up on this story about the 200 odd million quid in the bank. Yes, we have got 200 million quid in the bank, but they're taking that off of the figures for the last financial report. Yeah. That might not be accurate. It probably fluctuates over the course of every month and every year. Not only that, it doesn't take into consideration the fact that we're going to have to reimburse Sky and BT Sport some of their money back. Not only that, we've lost loads of money in terms of match day revenue and stuff like that. They worded the article wrong. What they should have said is Arsenal have got 235 million quid in the bank, but if the owner wants to take that out and then replace it, which makes no sense to me in the first place, we can go and do 235 million quid, but Kroenke has to put the money in, which he ain't going to do. But that wouldn't have got that particular report by SoccerX any traction. Yeah, all they've done is seen a 235 million pound cash reserve and gone, oh, FFP's been relaxed. Arsenal got 235 to spend. We haven't. The only way we've got that is if the owner gives us it, and he ain't going to give us it because he don't give a toss. So Arsenal will be going through this summer transfer window on the self-sufficient model of spending what we earn again, rather than the outside investment from the owner putting the money in, even though it ain't going to go against FFP. But there we go. What the fuck do I know? I'm just a numpty YouTuber. Anyway, do smash the likes up. I would appreciate that. I will be playing FIFA today. Career mode's going well, all right. We've won every game so far. I've built myself a proper team. We've got Mbappe, Werner, Havertz, Felix, Neymar, Dembele, Ter Stegen, and Didi, Van Dijk. I bought myself a decent team. I've turned career mode into ultimate team. But let me read some of your comments out. Big up, my dupe. Lee, Thomas Partey's on 47 grand a week. Do you think he's using us for a wage increase? Well, it wouldn't be the first time, would it? I don't know. Listen, if I was to rate our chances of getting Thomas Partey out of 10, I'd say 7. But I don't know, man. Arsenal move in mysterious ways. Like I just said a minute ago, you can raise your wage bill by £7 million a year. Yeah. If we paid him £7 million a year, that's double what he's on now. So, well, it's near double what he's on now. So we could potentially do that. The thing with Arsenal is Arsenal need to get rid of players that are on top dollar before we can go and spend any money. Yeah, and the reason we're in that position is because we've mismanaged our money for a decade, probably more than a decade, on players like Xhaka, Mustafi, Kolasinac. Kolasinac's got to be one of the worst free signings I've ever seen in football. Guy's on 190 grand a week. He ain't all that, and he was free, but he's cost us 190 grand a week. It's costing us nearly £10 million a year. And he's been here, what, 3 seasons now? 30 million quid. That's an expensive free signing. You know what I'm saying? But there we go. Big up, my guy. How you doing? How's Tricks, baby? How's Tricks? Listen, do subscribe if you're new. Also, the Premier League is back again next week, as we know. And I will get HOTMIC working properly because I'm a numpty. And I totally nosed it up yesterday. So I will be getting that sorted. There's nearly 450 of you that have followed me on that platform. Download it. The link's in the description. It's free of charge. You can download it onto any mobile phone you've got. Use my link. That's in the description as well. And then follow me on the platform. Let's get that up to 1,000 real quick. I'll be doing every single game on there. And you get real stadium fan noise as well, which is kind of cool. So yeah, go and do that. Big up my boy Demetrius, Professor Lee back with the facts. Well, listen, I've seen a couple of you in the comments saying I should be a banker. I've been called a lot worse, mate. Been called a lot worse. Listen, I just look at like the problem with people like the media and stuff like that is they put stuff out there and then they make it sound like it's, oh my God, that's amazing. So everyone clicks. Yeah. Right. At the end of the day, Arsenal have got 235 million quid to spend. If the owner gives us it, we can't legally take the cash reserves out because it'll break a contract with Barclays Bank. So yes, we could technically go and do 235 million, but we can't take it out of the bank. It'd have to come from the owner. Because if we take that out of the bank, our cash reserves would be zip, nada, zero, but then the owner would have to pull it back. So why would he take it out to pull it back? Why don't he just give it to us? Which he isn't going to do. But SoccerX wouldn't have got anyone viewing their stuff if they had said that. Are you doing a watch along for Leipzig? No, not tonight, mate. Not tonight, buddy. I'm going to do a Premier League video, which I'll drop in about 45 minutes. Then I'll be playing FIFA on the gaming channel. That link's in the description. Then I'll be back again about 6 o'clock. Then I'll be back at 9. Then I'm done. Tomorrow, I will be doing a watch along. I think Barcelona are playing tomorrow, so I'll do that game tomorrow. Sell Xhaka by Party, sell Lucas by Sangare, sell Rob Mustafi and Paparan by Gabriel. I think you mean Magalhaes, Gabriel Magalhaes, yeah? By Kochu and Odegaard. Odegaard ain't going nowhere, bruv. Sell Hector, sign Cedric. If Aubameyang goes, sell Laka by Edouard. Do you know what? I've seen a lot of people saying, like, you know, this Edouard, is he all that? Jovic, no, we wouldn't take Jovic. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Are they better than what we've got? This, that, and the other. It's irrelevant whether they're better than what we've got. Would the team be better if we got rid of the 2 strikers we've got and went and brought them 2 strikers? Would the team be better? I'm not so sure. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know until we see it. Yes, there will be a member stream tonight, level 2 member stream. Sorry, I completely forgot about that. That'll be about 7:30, mate. 7:30 tonight, buddy. So yeah, come join in on that one, man. Has Fabrizio said anything about Party to Arsenal? I don't know, mate. I haven't seen it, to be honest. Big up Robbie. In other news, Aubameyang still hasn't signed a contract and Belland is still at the club. Well, listen, he's linked to Inter Milan and Juventus today. There's Zoolander at right back. He better be careful if he does go to Italy, because they have ultras out there that are very nasty men. So if he doesn't like certain fan TV and he doesn't like Alexis Sanchez's will to win every day, I don't think he's going to get on very well in Italy when he's having 0 out of 10 performances and they're coming to the training ground to kick his head in. Probably best for him not to move to Italy. Bless him, the little buttercup. But there we go. Let's read a few more of these out. Let's read some Facebook ones while we're here. I don't know what that means, bruv. I don't know what you're saying there. Do smash the likes up. That would be lovely jubbly. You don't have 235, bruv. We can have $500 million if the owner gives it to us. The fact is, he ain't going to give it to us. But we do have 235 million quid in the bank. That is true. And that's something that I've been saying for years. People are going, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, it has come out that we have now got 235 million in the bank. So maybe I do. Who knows? Big up, John. How you doing, buddy? Well, he got an assist, so he's going to be linked to everyone. I doubt Zoolander will go anywhere. We wouldn't be that lucky. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Afternoon to my guy, Jason. I'm on the tee today, bruv. I'm on the tee today. I hope you're not working too hard. We need to sell before we spend. I agree. And this is the thing, right? The owner came out a couple of weeks back, or a couple of months back. I don't even know when it was. It was about 6 weeks ago, something like that. And it came out that the owner was going to invest money into the club. He was going to give us a cash injection. How much that is, we don't know. Is he going to do it? We don't know. And like I said, we can spend as much money as we want this summer. FFP's been relaxed. That doesn't mean the owner's going to give us any money to spend. Yeah, and the way I look at it is if he does give us the money to spend, at some point he's going to want that money back. Yeah, so why would we do that? I don't get it. Big up, my boy. Hope you're well, man. I ain't seen you for a while, actually. Where did the money come from? The Boulder Greedy. The money's come from profit on profit on profit every year since we moved to the Emirates. So the cash reserves are just built up and built up and built up. It doesn't mean we can go and spend it. It just means that we've got 235 million quid in the bank. I'd imagine that some of that would be used towards the upkeep of the stadium. I'm sure that some of that would be used as a safety net for Barclays. Like I said, that was part of the terms and conditions of the contract with them for the stadium loan. We could go and pay the stadium off with it, but then we're getting a massive fine for paying it off early, which would equate to probably over 150 million quid in the first place. So why would you go and use all the money in the bank to then get another 150 million quid debt? It makes no sense. So the money that sat in the bank has been sat there for years, building up, building up, building up. It's on the annual accounts every year. Yeah, that they publish. It tells you cash reserves every year, and it's been going up and up and up and up to a point where it's 230. But we've got to take into account the fact that we haven't had any football for a while. There's been no match day revenue. Yeah, and the club are going to feel that. Yeah, the club are definitely going to feel that. So listen, we might be able to use 100 million out of that cash reserves because maybe the level that Barclays wanted was 100 million or 150 million, whatever it may be, as a reserve. Yeah, but the loss of earnings that we've had as a football club, I'm sure that some of that money will come out and pay other things off. So listen, we can go and do money this summer. Every club can spend unlimited money this summer, but you have to have the owner give you the money. We ain't got an owner that's going to do that. And you know what? Sometimes I look at it and I go, he's a complete clown. Other times I look at it and go, well, why would he give us money? Yeah, he's only been the owner for a year. And for the last 10 years or so, he's seen us mismanage our own money. Why would he give us his money? Like, you know, if it was me and I was looking at it, I was going, boy, I've sat in the wings for 11 years at this football club waiting to buy it. Yeah, you might have been taking the mick for 11 years. You don't even know how to spend the money properly. But this is where people get it twisted, right? Football side of things, we're shit. Yeah. Off-field side of things, i.e. the running of the business, up until this coronavirus pandemic, we're hitting targets. Yes, I know we've lost 20 million quid in the first quarter this year, and that's the first time we've reported a loss for a long, long time. But this is where people get it twisted. Why isn't he spending money when we're failing as a football club? We're not, though. We're failing on the pitch. As a football club, as a business, we're not failing. So why would you keep throwing money into something out of your own pockets if it's doing all right? You don't need to, because the business is doing all right. He ain't brought it to win nothing. He openly admitted that. Yeah, he brought this football club in the hope that there's going to be a Super League, a European Super League. And when that kicks in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, that's when he goes, boy, I've trebled my money on this club. See you later. And that's what he bought it for. That's what I think anyway. Let's read some more of these out. I'll do a couple more. Let's do a couple more. What's happening with the City Champions League situation? I think they've got a hearing at the end of this month or beginning of next month. Listen, don't get your hopes up. I don't know why people think that we're going to sneak into the Champions League, because that ain't happening, mate. Man City might get a ban. It don't mean we're getting fourth, because we're ninth at the moment. We've got 5 hard games out of 10. And we'd probably have to win more games in the next 10 than we've won all season. I don't get where anyone thinks we're getting fourth from. Yeah, it makes no sense. You know, you've won what, 8? We've won 8, 9 games all season. Everyone's thinking we're going to win 8, 9 and get in top 4. That ain't happening, man. Ain't happening. We'll be lucky if we get top 6. We sold a Wobie for 35. Imagine how much we can sell Bellerin and Torreira. Bruv, no. Bellerin would go for about 28, 27. Torreira would go for about the same as what we bought him, 25. Torreira ain't that good, man. He's a good player, but he ain't great. That's it. Big up the likes. Over 600 people watching this live. Just to recap for anybody who's come in late, where was you anyway? Make sure you put notifications on. Most importantly, put them on your phone, because there's about 5,000 of you out of the ones. I think there's 17,000 people on this channel have got notifications on. 5,000 of you don't have them switched on your phones. It tells me that, which means you're never going to get a notification, even though you've got notifications on YouTube. You need to turn them on your phone. But just to recap, can't beat Brentford. I ain't too fussed if we couldn't beat Brentford. I'd rather lose to Brentford and beat Man City, wouldn't you? We're not beating Man City either, by the way. But just to recap, Arsenal have apparently got 235 million quid to spend according to SoccerX. We haven't, unless the owner gives it to us. We've got 235 million quid in the bank, which we can go and spend if we wanted to, but then it breaks Barclays Bank's terms and conditions on the contract we signed for the stadium loan, which is paid off in 2031. Stan Kroenke can invest as much money as he wants this summer, which technically means, yes, in a short and curly type of way, we can go and do 235 million quid. The person who wrote that article should hang their head in shame, because it is completely misleading. What they should have said is Arsenal got 235 million quid in the bank, which is cash reserves that can't be touched because it's towards the contract for the stadium debt. But Stan Kroenke can invest the same amount of money into the club if he wants, without any FFP restrictions. If they had written it that way, everyone would be clear on it, wouldn't they? But then that's why I'm here. What do you think about Ali's ban? It should have been longer. Bruv, thank you for your donation, by the way, buddy. It's a disgrace that he only got 1 game ban. £50,000 fine. That's probably a quarter of his week's wages or half of his week's wages. Yeah, that don't mean nothing to him. Yeah, finding somebody who's a multi-millionaire is irrelevant, especially when they're going to make it back next week. Yeah, he's probably made it back this week. Yeah, so for me, a ban, he should have been banned for about 5, 6, 7, 8 games, maybe more. I think it's a disgrace. How does Son feel about that? One of his teammates. Yeah, it's disgusting, mate. The bloke's a clown. Yeah, I know people that know him. He's a fucking idiot. He's an absolute idiot. I remember when he signed for Tottenham. Yeah, just signed for Tottenham. He came back to Milton Keynes. Yeah, and he basically did a lock-in in McDonald's. He asked the manager of McDonald's. This is about 4 in the morning, by the way. Yeah, he stumbled out of a nightclub called Revolution, right? And he ended up in McDonald's. He got the manager of McDonald's to shut the doors, lock the doors, told everyone in there, don't take a picture of me. Yeah, he was standing up on the table, swaying and giving it all this. Then he said to the manager, I'll buy everyone's food in the building, which is kind of a nice thing to do. But he was just a fucking idiot, mate. The bloke is a clown, absolute clown. Yeah. Sometimes see him driving around Milton Keynes like the fucking geezer drives like a bellend. Yeah, absolute bellend. I'm surprised he never killed anyone. He's an absolute muppet, mate. So it doesn't surprise me that these stories come out. So he loves a bit of Snapchat though, doesn't he? When he was getting his cock out on Snapchat and all that crap. Yeah, the geezer's a fucking idiot. He should. If I was Tottenham, if I was Jose, I'd tell him straight, deactivate your socials. Yeah, that's what I'd say to him. Concentrate on your football. You don't need all this outside bullshit. But anyway, I'm going to leave it on that. There's a documentary on Netflix. I watched it. It's sad, man. I've watched that. It's proper sad. Proper sad. But yeah, listen, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to end on that. Actually, we'll end on that one because that's a nice one. You're one of the few with balanced views. Lee looks at both sides of the story. Half this fan base need to go along with Bellerin, Ozil and Mustafi. No, do you know what it is? Yeah, people don't like a lot of people don't like a difference of opinion. Somebody don't agree with them. Like today, I'll give an example. I've done my countdown till Ozil leaving again today. 384 days, by the way. I had some knobhead on my Instagram going, "This is disgusting. You should support the team." Okay, mate, cool. Yeah, you got 0 followers and you've posted 0 posts and you're a private account. None of them can spell, yeah, and they just go on like fucking divs. Yeah, it's like, if you don't like what I'm doing, why are you following me? Like, go away, man. But anyway, I'll be back in about 40 minutes, half hour with a Premier League update. And then I'll be back playing FIFA in about an hour. Mbappe FC is in full flow right now. We've got him on a free signing. We've got Ter Stegen on a free. We got Dembele and Neymar on a free. See, I'm free signing FC. Havertz, João Felix, Van Dijk. How much did we sell Saka for? I think we sold Saka for 156 million. Tierney we sold for 98 million. Yeah, Martinelli 100 million. I know how to run a football club. It's light work. Just give me all the contracts and I'll sort them out real quick. Anyway, all have a wicked day, man. Thanks for everyone watching. Do smash the likes up before you leave. Most importantly, download HOTMIC. Yeah, that would really help. It gets me paid a few quid if you use my code and then follow me. So go and do that right now. I will be doing all watch-alongs going forward on that. So yeah, man, have a wicked day. Laters, people.